Welcome as we celebrate Klamath County School District's 10th Annual Crystal Apple Awards.
Oh, are we excited to celebrate tonight? Yeah? Would you please stand and join Henley High School's ROTC Color Guard as they present Old Glory and Jacob Bruner plays the National Anthem.
Present on.
Amen. You can clap for Old Glory again. I'm proud to be American. I'm glad to be here. One of my favorite books is Wonder. It's about a little boy who's extremely disfigured and goes to school for the first time when he's a fifth grader. He's terrified. He doesn't want to be noticed. But he can't help but being noticed, not only how he looks, but the quality of his character. That he's such an amazing kid. That he sees way past everything else in a person. That he begins to change the culture of that school and the lives of the children that embrace him as a friend. At the end of the year, he's changed the school so much that he wins the top award. You hear in the story him narrating what happens next. They call him down for the award. And as he comes, all the families that were against him even being enrolled in the school, stand and applaud. He comes to the podium and receives the award as they give him a standing ovation. That's what tonight is all about. If you were in the reception with these winners right before we started, they're all very humble. They make a tremendous impact on the students they're with just by the quality of who they are, and they're not looking for any glory. So they're a little nervous tonight to be in front of you all. But as the little boy in Wonder, his name is Augie, says, everyone should have a standing ovation at least once in their life. This is our chance to give these 8 award winners their standing ovation. So don't hold back when you see them. They've done great stuff. And the leader of our school district, who is so behind what's going on here, checking up on me all the time, I'd like to present him right now. He has a few words for you, Mr. Glen Szymoniak.
Happy birthday, Klamath County School District. Happy 100th birthday. This is the anniversary of the formation of Klamath County School District, and the whole Henley campus showed up on the football field to celebrate. I think we have a photo of that. Let's hear it for the Henley folks. During the last 2 years, COVID has interrupted our schools, our lives, and this event. I would like to begin this evening by recognizing and honoring the Crystal Apple recipients from the previous 2 years. When I call your name, would you please stand up? I asked them to come and please sit in the front with us. From 2021, Helena DeYoung. Delana Hydrick. Anna Hernandez. Stacy Ramirez. Jeannie Smith. Don Alexander. Thank you for the great food, by the way. Julie Grantham. Steve Snyder. And Megan Parrish. We're sorry that we couldn't do this for you in 2021. Now the 2020 Crystal Apple Award winners. Joanne Chris. Rob Dunham. Rosanna Eager. Floyd Kendall. Carrie Patsky. Tammy Prescott. Lori Ross. And Sarah Smith. Congratulations to the previous year's winners. I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. We have an excellent entertainment to celebrate the work that all of you do for our students, especially this year's Crystal Apple honorees. So congratulations to the award winners tonight. Please enjoy the show.
Now let's get to it. Let's celebrate our first winner, Mark Teal.
Mark Teal, Henley Middle School's head custodian, can fix and clean nearly anything, and he always has a smile for students. He's one of the first people they see in the morning. He greets them in the lunchroom and in the hallways, and if they're on his basketball team, he's there for them on the court. In her letter nominating Teal for a Crystal Apple Award, Henley Middle School Principal Christy Creed stated, "He ensures every student feels welcome and safe. Because Mark is uplifting and kind, students seek him for advice, and he often counsels students through things like anxiety and peer pressure." A former mill and construction worker, Teal began working with the district more than 20 years ago, working at various schools over the years, including Henley High, Chiloquin, and Peterson. He also worked at the district office for several years. He has been the head custodian at Henley Middle School for the past 5 years. Teal has also coached high school wrestling and currently spends time after work coaching middle school basketball at Henley. He keeps the school sanitized and clean and also performs maintenance tasks. He enjoys the day-to-day tasks, but ultimately what keeps him motivated and inspired are the students. He says, "My hope is that I'm able to change some kids' lives for the better. For me, as an adult, that's what you should strive to do. Try to make somebody's life better." In addition to his job and coaching duties, Teal is an ordained minister. One of his proudest moments was being asked to perform a wedding ceremony for one of his former wrestling athletes. Principal Christy Creed added, "I've considered it a privilege to work alongside Mark all these years. His work ethic is second to none, and he takes great pride in a job well done. Will you please welcome to the stage, Mark Teal."
I'd like to thank Mrs. Creed for nominating me and the staff at Henley Middle School for making my job as easy as it is. I'd also like to thank Coach Ostrick for teaching me to pay it forward, Mr. and Mrs. Lentz for teaching me no matter where you come from in life, you're always worth a little something. And I want to thank my wife and kids for putting up with me.
Cynthia Fee has wanted to be a teacher since she cut out paper dolls from shopping catalogs and lined them up to play school. Cynthia's journey started at Rhode Island College, where she began student teaching at an on-campus elementary school.
Oh, what's that word? Rail. Nice job.
Since graduating in 1977, she has worn many hats. She lived on the East Coast and in Arizona before moving to the West Coast, and eventually began her career with the Klamath County School District. Today, she is a special education resource specialist at Henley Elementary School. KCSD educator Cassie Carlisle nominated Fee for the award, describing her mentor as the gold standard of special education teachers. She goes on to say, "Cynthia is a fabulous teacher who excels at getting students to reach mastery level with their curriculum and skills. And she takes the time for character education as well." Day to day, Fee is in her classroom working with kindergarten through 6th grade on reading and other skills. Cassie Carlisle adds she has a gift for finding the strengths in each student and pushing them to achieve their personal best. Cynthia said, "I meet my students where they are and do my best to bring them to their highest potential. I've worked with students of all ages and abilities across the country, and in all those places, I met the same children. And I met myself and the child I used to be, with hopes, dreams, and fears. I do this because it matters, and hopefully because it changes lives." Ladies and gentlemen, will you please give a warm welcome to Cynthia Fee.
For such a time as this, Esther 4:14. First, I am grateful that I was required to take public speaking in high school. It has eased the anticipation of coming up here before you tonight. My journey began in a small town in a small state, Rhode Island. It is where coffee syrup is made, grinders are sandwiches, cabinets are milkshakes, and fried clams have bellies. It is where I graduated from college before venturing to parts unknown 45 years ago. Upon coming to Oregon with my husband in 2003, by way of fish hatcheries in Astoria, Marion Forks, Oak Ridge, and finally Fort Klamath, I found myself becoming restless and ventured to the nearest school, Stearns Elementary. There I became a resource specialist, and it wasn't long before I realized that my life's journey working with youth of all ages and abilities had been for such a time as this. Every success or failure, every facet of my life's education was brought into that resource room, and thus my 17-year journey with Klamath County School District began. I have my students to thank most of all. Through the years, they have given me many crystal apples. Each time their eyes lit up with new knowledge, each time they said something that made me chuckle, and each time they drew a picture especially for me, I placed each crystal apple in a basket within my heart. I am appreciative of the many and very diverse paraprofessionals, teachers, coaches, custodians, trainers, and administrators I've journeyed with through the years. I'm also grateful to my family and to my faith. Through all my endeavors, all my choices, both good and bad, God has always walked beside me. To our future aspiring teachers and specialists, I leave you this. Never doubt yourself. Your journey may not be my journey, but you will bring things to our profession no one else ever has or ever could. Believe in your own specialness and start collecting those crystal apples. And along the way, be a crystal apple to someone you meet.
Each year during the Crystal Apple Awards, we try to highlight different kids' talent that are here in our district. We had a huge group of different kids. We wanted to entertain you back in 2020. Didn't work out so well. Week before the show, we closed, and this didn't happen. So this year, we're able to come back. And one of the groups that is so special is Mrs. Kosan's group from Merrill. She works with the kids like a lot of teachers do, adding music back into their curriculum and just making things happen. So, Touch the Sky with Mrs. Kosan's group.
Calling, and the sky is clear and bright. Misty mountains singing back and lead me out into the light. I will ride, I will fly high, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly high, chase the wind and touch the sky. Dark woods hide secrets, and mountains are fierce and bold. Deep waters hold reflections of times lost long ago. I will hear every story, take hold of my own dream. Be as strong as the seas are stormy, and proud as an eagle screams. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. When the cold wind is a-calling and the sky is clear and bright, misty mountains sing and beckon, lead me out into the light. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. And touch the sky, 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 and touch the sky.
That's why we do it. That's why we do it. And now our next winner, Mrs. Maggie Hill.
Maggie Hill spent years volunteering at Shasta Elementary School, in the classroom, on field trips, for fundraisers. If it needed to be done, she did it. Later, she took a full-time job with the school as a paraprofessional, working with children on reading, math, and other skills. Shasta Elementary School Principal Randy Rose described Hill as the most dedicated paraprofessional he has worked with in his more than 3 decades in education. He says her love for students and what she does for Shasta is infectious. She's able to recognize on a daily basis which students need that extra little attention to make it through the day. Students absolutely adore her. Day to day, Hill works with small groups of students, teaching reading lessons as part of the school's WIN, What I Need program. She also assists teachers and spends time helping students at lunch and at recess. When COVID-19 closed schools, she was one of the first to jump in and help with daycare, meals, education packets, and Chromebook assignments. She still volunteers after work hours for school events such as Family Fun Night. I really try to welcome people into the school, Hill said. I love to come work and be with the kids. Maggie Hill grew up in the Redding, California area, eventually moving to Klamath Falls with her husband in 1992, where they started a family. When her oldest child entered kindergarten, she started volunteering at the school and found a calling. Today, she's inspired by her family and the children and staff she works with every day. She said, "I don't see my work as a big challenge, but more as a reward. Receiving the Crystal Apple is an honor that I accept on behalf of all the wonderful people I work with. Each of us work hard to make sure our children's needs are met. It's a great feeling to enjoy what I do." Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big congratulations to Maggie Hill.
Throw up. Okay. Sorry, guys. First off, I want to thank Mr. Rose and Mrs. Witt for providing us with such an amazing and enjoyable place to work, and also where everybody, who walks through the doors of Shasta Elementary feels as welcome as I do. But also thank you, everyone. We know that life has not been easy on any of us the past 2 years, but as a village, we have managed and held each other together. Thank you to all my teacher friends, staff, students, and my partners in crime. Thank you to all those that took time out of their day and nominated me. Never in a million years did I expect this. But please know that I am also so blessed to receive such an honorable award just by doing what I love. I'm not sure how I got so incredibly lucky, and I honestly couldn't ask for better people in my life. Thank you. I love you all.
Most teachers manage one classroom. Ag science teacher and FFA advisor Megan Miller manages multiple learning environments: a traditional classroom, a food science laboratory, metal and wood shops, 2 greenhouses, a barn, a chicken coop, and a school farm.
So what's a market-ready bird? So a market-ready one that we want.
Miller was raised on her family's farm in South County. Her father was a farmer and rancher. Her mother taught home economics at Lost River. Although, like many farm youth, Miller thought about being a veterinarian, her ultimate choice of career. But combining agriculture and teaching is a perfect fit. Angie Wallen, vice principal at Lost River, credits Miller with more than doubling the number of students in the school's FFA and Ag program in her first year. From there, she continued to expand the Ag program. Within a couple of years, her students were raising and harvesting produce, eggs, and beef for their school cafeteria. Student inspiration comes from teachers who love their content and the students they teach, Wallen said. Miller has the ability to include all students by making sure everyone has what they need to participate. She writes grants, manages fundraisers, assists FFA students and their parents, and supports extracurricular activities. She also has expanded agriculture education into the elementary schools. Last August, 13 students were able to enter and exhibit lambs at the Klamath County Fair who otherwise would not have been able to do so, thanks to Miller's efforts and support. Megan says, "I not only get to teach students in a classroom, but give them the hands-on applications that will help them no matter where they go in life. I'm not only here for my students, but also to see my community continue to grow and flourish." Will you please give a round of applause for Megan Miller?
Not much for writing speeches by any means, and I tell my kids that all the time. Impromptu is the way to go. So they're going to be like, "I told you so." I don't even know where to start. My career started at Henley, and I feel like I was told many times by my father that you're going to make lots of errors and you're going to move on to better places, and it's good to be home. More than anything, it's more special than anything to teach in the classroom where your mother has taught for 28 years prior to starting your own career. And so I know tonight she is more proud than anything watching over all of us here. And so I really appreciate the nominations over the years, and especially to my administrators who not only were my teachers in high school, but I think actually a classmate or two. I think he was a senior when I was a 7th grader or something along those lines. Nonetheless, I couldn't do any of this without my husband, who will at the mere drop of a hat jump in and flip a burger, or fix the sink, or whatever craziness happens in not only my classroom but the greenhouse or everything else. And for all the hundreds of students that I've taught, thank you for being willing to be voluntold, not necessarily volunteering to jump in at the whim of needing that extra person on a FFA team or needing another officer on the team or whatever the case is. It's a pleasure serving Klamath County School District, especially back home in Lost River. So thank you.
After 33 years of teaching, Lori Neely still looks forward to each day in her kindergarten classroom at Ferguson Elementary School. I'm extremely blessed to be a part of these students' educational paths, Neely says of her long career in education. My biggest accomplishment is teaching more than 1,000 students in my career. I've even taught kids of the kids. During a recent lesson on number bonds, her kindergarten students donned silver and purple party hats, lining up as examples of how to break apart the number 10. Students proudly held up their boards, displaying the correct equation. Lori is known by coworkers as an expert teacher who meets students where they are and provides individualized instructions based on what each student needs. Coworkers Mariah Campbell and Sabrina Johnson said, Lori inspires students by instilling a love of learning at the kindergarten level and welcomes all children in. Neely grew up in Klamath Falls, attending Altamont and Peterson Elementary Schools, Brixner Junior High, and Mazama and Klamath Union High Schools.
There's more than one hat, so what would we put at the end?
After earning a master's degree in education, she taught various grades in private and public schools. She even taught in a 2-room schoolhouse in Fields, Oregon. She started teaching with the Klamath County School District in 2011 as a teacher at Keno Elementary. She's been at Ferguson since 2017. For Neely, receiving a Crystal Apple Award is special because it symbolizes the values her grandparents taught her, the support of her family, and the realization of her dream. She adds, it also represents every nose I've wiped, every shoe I've tied, every tear I've dried, and every Band-Aid I've applied. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge applause for Lori Neely.
Writer either, but I would like to thank our district for recognizing us for this Crystal Apple Award. And our district does a really great job of training us, and they give us lots of training. No, I mean lots and lots and lots and lots of training. Lots and lots and lots of training. And so I wanted to share with you one of the most memorable trainings that I've gone on. So there were 8 of us, and we were driving to Portland in a van, and we decided we need to use the bathroom. And so I said, my cousin lives right here in Pleasant Hill. Let's call her up, and we'll go to her house and use the bathroom. So I call her. She's not there. I leave her a message that we're coming. We pull in her driveway. She's not there. I go check her doorknob. It's open. Let's go in and go to the bathroom. So we went in, and all 8 of us, we used the bathroom. We look on the kitchen counter, and she has some cookies cooling on the counter. And we said, let's help ourselves to a cookie. So we all stole the cookie. And then I left her a note, and I said, I'm sorry I missed you. We all used your bathroom. We stole the cookie. Catch you later. And we left. We're driving to Portland. My cousin calls me on the phone. And I said, hello? And she said, sorry, I missed a call from you. And I said, yeah. Did you get my note? She said, what note? I said, the note I left you on the kitchen counter. She said, Lori, I don't live there anymore. I was like, whoops. So that's my most memorable training. Well, anyways, I just wanted to say thank you to Sid, my principal. He is amazing. And my vice principal, Jana, they're there for me every single day for thousands of questions a day. And I wanted to say thank you to the Ferguson staff because they make going to work enjoyable every single day. I get up and we go there, and we're just a good bonded school team, and it just makes me happy to be there every day. I wanted to say thank you to Mariah Campbell and Sabrina Johnson for nominating me. And they're a great kindergarten team to work with. And I wanted to say Thank you to my friends and family for listening to all the kindergarten stories over the years. I probably bore them to death with all my fun kindergarten stories. I wanted to say thank you to all of you for coming out tonight and supporting us so that we could have this event. And I wanted to say thank you to my husband, Tom, for acting interested in Common Core math and Dibbles data. He knows more about those things than any husband should have to know. And I would like to say thank you to my sons, Brian and Kevin, for sharing your mom with all of the students that I've had over the years. And every time we go to the store, they'd say, "Oh, that's for us? Or is it for your class, Mom?" I would like to say thank you to my grandson, Vincent, for the many weekend hours he has spent setting up a classroom with Grandma. He can do it without me. I don't even have to guide him. The other day I went in, I had to make some photocopies at the copy machine, and I come in and he's got everything all lined out and ready to go. So he's done it enough, he can do it without me, and I love you, little buddy. Thank you.
Now, as the Henley High School Percussion Ensemble comes out under the direction of Katie Garvin, I would first like to thank the Klamath Insurance Center here in town. They sponsor all of our awards. They buy all the crystal apples and send them and have them engraved for us. It's pretty wonderful. It takes a minute for the ensemble to set up, and music and band teachers changed my life. When I was a little boy, I went to school up at Riverside Elementary, and I was in special ed, and I was a little fat, dumb kid. And then Mr. White came and did music tests on all the fourth graders, and I started playing instruments. My academic career didn't get any better, but I never missed a day of school because I got to go to music class. In junior high and high school, I played with Mr. Ingbrecht in the band and sang with the choirs. And then in high school, Mr. Ham and Mr. White were together, and I would do anything to be there. In fact, I eventually married the piano accompanist. Boys, it's a good place to hang out in the choir room, let me tell you. Music, band students are the highest academic rated kids around. There's some sort of connection between mathematics and music. It changes everything. It rounds out your world. And these teachers, these band teachers, these choir teachers are like the Crystal Apple Award winners. In fact, we have one tonight. They come into kids' lives. They inspire them. They teach them about the beauty of music that just seems to be written on our hearts. You see a 2-year-old dancing for no apparent reason except they hear music. And so we're about to hear this special thing from, again, Katie Garvin's Percussion Ensemble. They're so good they have their own class. Oh, and by the way, this year, the band, the Henley Band, and the Henley Choir, and the Mazama Band are all going to state. And now they do their quick escape plan, which could be just as interesting to watch. Great job, guys. You've got amazing kids, don't you? Yeah, that was awesome. Growing up, I know you don't boo. I'm a graduate of Klamath Union High School. Yeah. And the very best music programs around were at Klamath Union High School. But not anymore. The stuff that's happening at Henley and Mazama is just amazing to me. That you could have a big enough music program that you have a class just for percussion. Wow. That is amazing.
As a bus driver trainer for the Klamath County School District, Melinda Downing is responsible for ensuring drivers meet all requirements and safety protocols for transporting students to and from school and activities. Born and raised in Klamath Falls, Downing is a Henley High School graduate and spent her childhood helping her parents in the family's candy and ice cream store. Melinda entered a career driving school bus in 2014. Jetty Charter, who works as an office specialist in the Klamath County School District Transportation Department, said Melinda goes way beyond expectations to make sure students arrive at school and home safely, putting in hours long before and after her scheduled time. She gives her all to make sure that we function well as a transportation team. In addition to training drivers, Melinda jumps in wherever she is needed, driving bus, working as a bus aide, dispatching in the office, maintaining files, and keeping track of driver certificates, medal and first aid cards, and classroom hours. She also trains drivers for activity vehicle certifications. She says, "I like meeting new people and getting to know them and being a part of their lives as they grow and take on new challenges. I learn from every person I work with. They help me grow as an instructor." Melinda was surprised to receive a crystal apple for what she describes as just doing her job. She said, "It's an honor that someone saw what's in my heart. I like my job. I love my work family, and I want to be a part of it all. I want to make everyone's job a little easier, and I want everyone to be happy." And now, please congratulate Melinda Downing.
Have glasses. I tried doing it without and I couldn't read it. How many of you have ever started out on a road trip? You knew just exactly which route you wanted to take thanks to good old Google Maps. You knew which exit you were going to take. You knew which left turn, which right turn. And then you run into a roadblock. You miss the exit, or you take the left when you should have taken the right, or the right when you should have taken the left, only to discover that those detours took you by something so beautiful that you would have missed if you stayed on your original route. That has been the story for my life, and it's what led me here tonight. Looking back, who would have ever thought? Definitely not me. I am truly humbled. Thank you, Mr. Snoozy, for believing in me, seeing something in me, and believing that I could do a job that I never expected. Thank you by leading by example, and for sometimes pushing me, yet allowing me to do my own thing, to grow, and sometimes to make mistakes. To my kids, thank you for taking care of each other, being patient, and encouraging me. To my family, for stepping up when I had to call and say, I need a child to a doctor, but I've got to drive a bus. Can you run and get my kids and take them? And thank you to the Klamath County School District Board, to our superintendent, for recognizing people and all of their hard work. There are so many people in our district that deserve this award, and to be selected as one to actually receive it is really an honor, so thank you.
Molly McAuliffe Hepper's students say it best. She understands that we all come from different places and that we all go through our own battles. She sets us up for success and helps us prepare for our future. She's never afraid to be real and straight up with us and push us to be better people.
We can be brave.
She grew up on her family's ranch in Fort Klamath and comes from 4 generations of cattle ranchers who established roots in Klamath and Lake counties in the late 1800s. After graduating Montana State University with a bachelor's degree in history, she attended law school for 1 year before returning to Montana State to coach the women's rodeo team and completing a Master's of Arts degree in history. Today, she teaches U.S. history, honors U.S. history, law and justice, and senior seminar. I try to help young people feel a sense of belonging and empowerment, she said. The goal is to create a place for them to be comfortable and develop a curiosity to learn things beyond themselves. During a recent senior seminar class, she coached students on potential interview questions for college admissions and scholarships, and then had them practice with each other. One of the prompts, what are the 3 words that describe you? Some students struggled, and Hepper helped them think of an honest, descriptive, yet powerful word. Molly McAuliffe Hepper was nominated for the Crystal Apple by 3 students in the Henley High School administrative team. The administrators kicked off their nomination letter with 3 words they say describe Hepper: dedicated, steadfast, tenacious. Her nominators say she is not only a teacher, but a support system for many students. When asked to describe her job, she writes, "My daily goal is to try to do several things: provide opportunities to think and learn about the past in a new light, help young people develop skills and confidence to take the next steps in life after high school, and be present in the moment and aware of others' needs." Will you please welcome to the stage and congratulate Molly McAuliffe Hepper.
I told somebody that my speech was 2 words. Thank you. I lied. Teaching is one of the most rewarding and humbling professions. The Crystal Apple was a special surprise, especially this year. It's not been the easiest year. But I sincerely appreciate the students and administration who nominated me. I'm honored. I get to work with some of the best people, whether it be my administrators, coworkers, or students. I truly love the people I work with. I'm proud to call them my friends. They make me better in countless ways, whether it be pushing me to learn new things, supporting me in challenging circumstances, celebrating my accomplishments, listening to my rants and stories on daily walks at lunch, checking on my well-being in and outside of school, or getting me off task in the classroom to talk about current issues and avoid work. You know who you are. I've also had an incredible support system outside of school. My husband, Gary, has been my rock for the past 29 years. I'm one of those teachers who drags the job home, and he's endured countless hours of neglect. He also gives me insight on how life goes on without my focus on school and sort of keeps me grounded. My daughter, Kate, she spent 12 plus years accompanying me to school, keeping me company and giving me perspective on the commute. She now is at Montana State finishing up her junior year in college. My son and my daughter-in-law, who once was my student, Brad and Rita Hepper. The younger generation makes me realize the world's in good hands. They're both young professionals who balance work and family as a team and setting the standard for their generation. They have also enriched my life with 3 amazing grandchildren, Adam, Allie, and Dylan. And when I'm with them, I remember what's most important, to enjoy the moments and the little things that make life worth living. I also had extraordinary parents, so I try to live my life in honor of their legacy, and they instilled in me a desire to make each day matter and to serve others. In closing, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd become a teacher. I spent 15 years at Chiloquin, some of the best years of my life, 10 years here at Henley. Let alone, I never thought I'd ever stay in a classroom as long as I had. I remember Rob Dunham saying, "How long are you going to teach?" And I said, 10 years max. But my biggest accomplishment has been the relationships I've built with students throughout my career. These students have enriched my life in countless ways. The joy I've experienced is beyond measure. And thank you again for this special recognition.
Izet is the band director at Mazama High School. Rob has a bachelor's from Warner Pacific and a master's of music education and conducting from the American Band College at Southern Oregon University. He started working at Mazama and Brixner 9 years ago, and he also directs the Klamath Community Band every Thursday. At Mazama, his wife Lauren works with him as a percussion coach. Rob explains, a band is only as good as its weakest musicians, so the challenge is to do everything I can to help them achieve, no matter where on the talent spectrum they might fall.
Okay, ready? Sure. All right.
Rob Izet's dedication to reaching students and helping them succeed is one of the reasons Valerie Launer, Vice Principal at Mazama High School and District Federal Programs Administrator, nominated Izet for a Crystal Apple. Launer said, "His excellence in the classroom is evidenced by his attention to detail and the manner in which he provides feedback during rehearsals. He inspires students of all backgrounds as he brings them together to create music." Rob also teaches band at Brixner Junior High School, so he often has the same students from 7th grade through high school graduation. The Mazama Band also performs at concerts, festivals, parades, and football and basketball games. He has taken a high school band to the OSAA State Band Championships 7 of the past 16 years, placing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in their classifications. Rob says, "I feel fortunate that I was able to do something that I absolutely love to do and get paid for it. What inspires me professionally is being with the students and watching them achieve more than they thought possible." Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Rob Izet.
I've been on this stage more times than I can count, but you're usually to my back. Yeah. So this is a little weird. I told my wife I can do this extemporaneously. Said, I've been married to you for too long, write it out. Thank you, honey. And thanks to the previous winners who pulled out a piece of paper too. I want to thank the district for taking a chance on this old dude when he came down 9 years ago, who didn't start teaching until he had reached the age of 50, 3 years prior to when most of y'all are getting ready to retire. I'd like to thank my administration team, and I've had a few at Mazama, but especially Jen this year, because this is the first year in all the years I've been here that if a kid wanted band, they got band, because I often have to struggle with the kids that are taking advanced classes. Sometimes they can't get band, so thank you, Jen. It's been great. To Valley, who is not only another administrator for nominating me, but also extremely talented flautist who comes down occasionally and gives my flute players extra help that I'm not smart enough to do. So thank you. I want to thank my colleagues for just being, giving me something to look up to, even though I was older than most of you. Thank you. You've made it a lot of fun, and mostly, I think, to the kids that pass through my classroom, because you've never been around dorky band kids. They're the best. They're the absolute best. But mostly, I want to thank my family. My father, who's no longer living, who himself was a band teacher, and I also have a little brother who's a band teacher, so go figure that one out. My son Nate, who graduated from Mazama, I was his only band teacher from the minute he started. His mother was his drum teacher before he was even old enough to hardly hold sticks, who's here tonight, working for a neighboring district, but who just got accepted to his master's program at George Fox. So district folks, about the time I'm out the door, you'll have a newly minted history teacher looking for a job, so, just that. But mostly to my wife, Lauren. When she married me, I wasn't a band teacher, and had she known all that entailed, she either might not have married me, or she would have picked a different wedding date. Little did she know that March 20th is right smack in the middle of band contest season. So we have often spent our anniversary something related to band. For the many hours that you have helped me listen to judges' comments, to the many colorful and lively discussions we have about how I can best achieve for my band, for all the loading and unloading of U-Haul trucks with equipment in it, for all the setting up and tearing down concerts, and just being there on those long bus rides, and mostly for being my greatest cheerleader. I love you.
Love you too.
You had to do that. I have to confess that on more than one occasion early in this year, I was bit with the bug, not the COVID bug. With that bug at my age that says, you know what, with as hard as things are, I just want to punch the clock. But a new teacher who was a band parent of one of my former students when I first got here, sat across the table from me when I said that. She said, yeah, but you're not that teacher, Rob. Heather, thank you. The last couple of years haven't been easy for any of us, and that's not lost. The fact that most of my students are in my classroom because they want to be there, not because they need the class to graduate, that's not lost on me. and I get it, and I have deepest respect for those you teach those core subjects, and you don't always get the cooperation of the student. Last year, roaming the halls, which I was able to do because of the situation, I heard more than one teachers who I held up as the kind of teacher I still wanted to become, saying things like, I just feel like a bad teacher. Knew you weren't, but you felt that way as you tried and struggled and changed and tried to meet all the needs of the students. You knew you were good, and you hung in there. And unlike me, you don't get to have an audience applaud you when your class does particularly well on an exam. I get that. And it's because of that is I really want to accept this for all you teachers who've been in the trenches and just every day put one foot forward in front of the next and making this work. You've inspired me, and thank you for that.
So this has been a night to celebrate, to give people that applause. I'm going to have some other group come out right now to celebrate and applaud. They're lining up over there. I've been teaching since 1984. Whoa. And I always have a guitar in my class, and I'm always singing. And my kids are singing back at me, and we're having fun. But this year I began to sing with my class, and right from the beginning, I realized, wow, they're really good. They go to school at Stearns, where I teach 4th grade. And they've had a really tough 2 years too. They often feel like they've been alone, isolated. We're going to sing for you a song that comes from a boy, an autistic boy, who talks about he knows that you think you're alone too. But that is not the case. And there are people there for you, teachers there for you, friends for you. So would you please welcome Stearns Elementary's 4th grade as they come out on stage and we sing for you, You Are Not Alone. School board, thank you so much for the standing ovation. I really appreciate that. And thank you for your spirit of celebrating people, our children, our teachers, our show-offs. They are a really fun class, let me tell you. Continue. I loved what Cindy said, and I'm going to try to piggyback badly on what she said. Be the crystal apples in people's lives. Collect the crystal apples. Those are tremendous thoughts. And with that, have a fabulous evening.